Edgar Harrell looked down, and for a split second he wished he was blind. The water around him wasn't blue, and it wasn't black. It was a dark, shimmering crimson. And then he saw the fin. He was 600 miles from land. He had no food, no fresh water, and the ship he called home had just vanished into the abyss. But Edgar wasn't just fighting the ocean. He was being hunted by the largest concentration of oceanic white-tip sharks in history. This isn't just a story of a shipwreck. This is the story of the 5 most terrifying days in naval history, and the secret mission that caused it all. Yulee, 1945. The USS Indianapolis was on a mission so secret, even the captain didn't fully know what was inside the heavy crates they were carrying. They had just delivered the components for Little Boy, the atomic bomb that would soon fall on Hiroshima. Their mission was a success. They were the lucky ship. But as they sailed toward Leyte Gulf, they were sailing into a trap. At midnight on July 30th, 2 Japanese torpedoes slammed into the side of the ship. In just 12 minutes, the massive cruiser tilted, groaned, and slid into the Philippine Sea. Out of 195 men, about 900 made it into the water. They thought the worst was over. They were wrong. The nightmare was only beginning. Before we get into the horror of what happened in that water, stories like this are often buried by time. If you believe these men deserve to be remembered, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that history matters, and it helps us bring more of these untold stories to light. By the first morning, the men were covered in fuel oil, their eyes stinging and lungs burning. They huddled together in groups, believing there was safety in numbers. But the splashing only attracted visitors. At first, it was just 1 or 2, then dozens, then hundreds. Edgar Harrell later described that first night as a chorus of screams. A man would be talking to you one moment, and in a sudden blur of gray and white he'd be dragged under. You wouldn't see the shark. You'd just see the life jacket pop back up, empty. By day 3, the thirst was unbearable. The sun was a hammer, beating down on their unprotected heads. Some men broke. They drank the salt water. Within hours, they were gone. Hallucinating. Men claimed they could see the ship just below the surface, serving chilled milk and steak. They would swim down to find it, and they never came back up. Edgar watched as his group of 80 men dwindled to 40, then 20, then 5. But here is the most chilling part. Nobody knew they were missing. Because of a series of bureaucratic blunders, the Navy didn't report the Indianapolis as overdue. For nearly 4 days, these men were ghosts. It took a fluke. A pilot on a routine patrol noticed a massive oil slick. He descended, thinking he'd found a Japanese sub. Instead, he saw hundreds of heads bobbing in the water, waving their arms in a final desperate plea for life. When the rescue ships finally arrived, they found a scene from a horror movie. Out of the 900 who entered the water, only 316 were left alive. Edgar Harrell survived. He lived to tell the world about the courage of his crewmates and the horror of those 5 days. But the lucky ship left a scar on history that never truly healed. The next time you look at the ocean, remember the men of the Indianapolis. They weren't just victims of war. They were the ultimate testament to the human will to survive against the impossible. If you're a fan of story-driven history that goes deeper than the textbooks, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We're on a mission to document the most incredible human moments of World War II, and we'd love to have you on the journey. Which part of Edgar's story shocked you the most? Let's talk about it in the comments below.